Hey guys, RC here, back with episode 7 of our tutorial. This is an actual tutorial. We're going into more depth and more detail of each section. And this is episode 4 of the recruiting section. I've mentioned multiple times, I think recruiting is the heart of any college game. It's what makes or breaks a college game. Um, and so I think it's the part you need to spend a little more time on. I also think it's usually the hardest part to figure out of a game, so naturally it would benefit us to spend a little more time. So what we've done is we've gone through a couple of weeks now. We've kind of looked at how to sort players, how to use the filters, how to start using our abilities to boost players up. I wanted to look at Anderson here. Now, Anderson had a good visit from us in the email, so he has now moved up to a 2-star. And then Wells went from a 2-star to a 3-star because he had a good visit. And then Franklin, the power forward, he had an okay time. It wasn't bad, but his comment was, hey, it was all right, nothing great, but I've got more schools that I want to look at. Okay, so he stayed at a 1. Now, if we sort by our call list, every time we change a filter, what do you have to do? Update it. That's right. So we're going to update. We're going to sort by interest. Look at all the 3-stars we've got now just from basically calling. Okay, I'm going to sort by OVR. What's the first thing we're going to do? Well, let's put on our quick recruiting because that is helpful at this point. Sort by the OVR. Anybody that we have not watched film on, we're going to do those guys because I want the ratings on them. I want the ratings. Don't do the guys you've already watched unless you just want to get a little more information. Remember we did that last episode? Oh, and see, my scrolling there cost me a little bit. Alright, now we're going to go into OVR again. I want to come up to the top. Alright. I want to look for my top defenders. Now, you may have your own ideas, and that's fine. And it depends on position too, right? Okay. So, I mean, let's look at that. Okay. I have a power forward. Well, I want him to be able to play defense and rebound. He can't. He's a very good rebounder, not a good defender. He's a good scorer, average inside. So, he has some positives, right? I mean, not horrible. The defense would be a liability. Let's scout him live. All right, next guy's a power forward, but he's only a 1-star, so I'm going to stay away from him right now. I don't know their ratings, so let's scroll down to the next batch here. All right, he's a point guard. Handling, passing, scoring, outside, rebound, defense. I don't mind him, but it's his defense. I really need him to be able to lock down the other point guard. So I'm going to pass on him. All right. Handling is average. Passing is really good. He's a good scorer, inside and outside. Average defender. Don't really care about rebounding out of my point guard. So you know what? Let's scout him live. Hey, how come you're not hosting visits? It's grayed out this week because we're in the evaluation period. I've either already hosted him or we can't do that this week. So we'll have to, we'll figure that out. But that was a good catch if you asked yourself that. Let's scroll down a little bit more to the next batch of players. All right, now he's a center. Defense and rebounds, I like that. Score inside. I don't care about his handling and passing so much. He can't hit free throws. Is he a good enough defender and rebounder to offset that? Well, he's about the tallest guy, so I do like that. And look, there's a host visit. Oh, wow, look, he declined it. Okay, well, that's fine. He's a 3-star. Doesn't mean they're always going to take it. I'm going to scout him live. I want to call him. Okay, that's a guy that I'm going to want to call. This would be a guy that I would probably like on my, to offer a scholarship. Now, why did he not visit us? We're not in his top 10 list. You can also see we have some notes that have started showing up. These are the notes from your assistant coach because they're on the call list. He rarely misses even a day of practice. Discipline would be a factor for him. Well, we're an average discipline, so this is where we start getting some notes here. Coach discipline is going to be important. Okay? That came from your assistant coach. Now, you can still call him and ask him about discipline. He may confirm that. He may undermine that a little bit. If you're a better recruiter than your assistant coach, you're going to want to go with yours. If your assistant's better than you, then you might give more credence to him there. All right. Now, we have no more Scout Live, but I do have 3 host visits. All right. So I'm just going to pick some people at random. How about this guy? All right. He took it. Defense. He's a point guard. Pass handle, scoring, outside. So he won't go in. He won't drive the lane. He won't be playing in the paint. He'll be more the outside and a distributor. He can hit free throws. Yeah, let's go ahead and offer him. 5'7". Maybe I don't want to offer him. Up to you. Your call. Defense. Here's another point guard. Now he's 5'10". Good scorer, passer, handler, outside, free throws is average. I kind of like him. Oh, he took it. And how about Brown? Scorer, inside, outside. Nah, not so much. All right, let's keep looking. Defense and rebounding. All right, well, there's Ridenour. Let's see if he'll... Oh, I've already had him visit. Couple of JUCO guys. How about a small forward here? Inside, outside, above average score. He can pass and handle. Defense, not so much on rebounding, but, there could be worse. All right, so he took it. So we finished all 5 of them. Now, we don't have his top 10. Why? Because he's not in the top 200 in our region that we got in our gold book. So because he's outside the top 200, number 1329 overall, that is what makes that not appear. Now, you also note the coach called and found out that his parents felt we were not the right school. Okay, so let's turn this off, and I want to look at Mr. Anderson. Little matrix reference there. Influence of parents, very high. All right, so his parents are going to have a big say-so in where he goes to school, and they don't think we're right. So we're probably going to want to stay away from him. I should have looked at that before hosting, but that is what it is. All right. You already know how to make the phone calls, so I'm not going to take my time to do phone calls this time. Well, it doesn't take that long. Let's see what we've got. Is this one of the guys that I wanted? Basically, I'm looking for very high defense and 3-star. interest. All right, Jones, let's call him. Conference prestige, location, interest level, parent info. They pretty much let me do what I like. All right, so there was always enough money, so they're going to have wealth. They're going to have low input, and if we go back to his card, look at that influence level, basically none. All right, now we may find some indication. Discipline, a factor. All right, so that's a call for him. Jones. How about Watkins? Pitches, conference prestige, location, general. Okay, and we'll end the call. All right, so still haven't learned a whole lot about his parents. Not in his top 10, even though he has interest. This is where you're going to have to use your visits to the campus and a home visit to really try to drive up the interest level there. All right. So the other thing we can do here is we can turn this back on and we can sort by OVR, and we can just start going down and see who we're in the top 10 for. All right, so we can't make phone calls from here, but we can sort out. All right, so we're going to turn this off, and let's go ahead and call him. All right, we're going to go to pitches, school prestige, not a big concern. Discipline, okay, general information. Let's talk about your folks, your interest level, out of time. All right, we're going to do that. Now basically what happened last week, we're at the 11th, so we're going to want to get now to the 18th, right? Add another 7 days to that. Yeah, you got to use a little math here. You know, for those of you that never thought you'd have to use math again, you know, you got to do it a little bit every once in a while, right? All right, so we're going to advance.
You have new mail.
We only made it to the 14th. Let's go find out why. Because we had the Houston Classic informing us about the Chicago Prep. We're not going to be there.
You have new mail.
16th, still not there. There's the Prep review.
You have new mail.
17th, now that we have visit responses, now we know that this is the end of the week. All right, cool visit, liked the people. Man, it's going to be tough to make up my mind. Sean Carter, awesome time. I can see myself there. Bernie Anderson, awesome time. Now, again, you may get, you know, it was no big deal. I want to look around. We saw an example of that. You could get, if you, depending on who you ask, especially one of the guys with a minus or no interest in your program, they may say, you know, that was a waste of time, coach. Didn't enjoy it at all. Just don't see myself playing there. And you have to read all of this and take this into your thought process when you're recruiting. Now, again, normally I would already be dialed in on my recruits to who I wanted to offer. Now, real quick, and I did not do it last week, everybody on our call list still has at least a plus sign. Try to get in the habit of looking for that. If anybody has fallen off of that, especially if you, well, let's break this down into two sections. Let's say you're at the level we are or higher, and you've got enough players to fill up your 50-man call list with a plus sign. First off, when you're going through the initial list, make sure you're putting on the positions that you're interested in. Don't waste any spots with positions that you have no need for. I didn't go into that much detail, because I don't have any scholarships. Okay, but that may be where, hey, let's look at all the point guards first, all the centers second, and then power forwards and small forwards next, and then I don't look at shooting guards at all because I don't need one this year. Okay, that might be how you have to approach it. That's how you want to fill up your list. Now, if you're at a lower prestige school, I mentioned that I started a game with Houston Baptist, and I only had 5 guys, and they were all 1-star interest. Well, first off, that's going to be a school that I'll want to keep at least one scholarship for late in the season. When? Late March, early April. Don't know what I'm talking about? Go check out the other videos. Watch them in order. Big tip about that. I'm not going to give the tip again. I already gave it. All right. So, oh, by the way, we're in a dead period. That's different. All we can do is call and watch film. So this is going to be a week where you've already been watching film on people. If you need to replace some people, this is a good week to weed out some of the players that are not interested in you very much and see about adding in some new people. Now, we are all the way up to 50. So like at Houston Baptist, I might not have 50 people. I may only go with 10 that first week, the ones I can watch film on. And I may just add 10 a week and then evaluate and take them off my call list at that point. Now, that's what you want to, so you want to weed through your list every week. Now, what I'm going to do, because I can still watch film, I'm going to sort by OVR. Guess what I'm going to do? You're right. I'm going to put it on this quick recruiting update anytime we change anything. All right, we're sorted by OVR. Anybody that I'm still looking for film for ratings, I need to watch the film on them. Now, at some point, you'll have enough people on here that maybe you will start spending that film on watching your guys a second time, especially if it's guys that you are contemplating a scholarship offer to, or guys that you've already made a scholarship offer to. I'm going to go with the taller guy here just to get another tall guy on my list. Okay? There's nothing else I can do. I don't think I can call this week. Let's see. I can't get into it because I've got this box done. Oh, I can call players. Okay. But basically, you see what I'm doing. I don't think I need to go any farther. I mean, I don't want to become ad nauseum on this. So we've covered a lot in recruiting. That's why this is the 4th video just dealing with recruiting. Get people on your list. Try to get people that are interested in you. Try to drum up interest in guys that you would like if they have the ratings you want for your team, for your offense, for your defense, whatever you want. And keep in mind, just because they rank higher, they may not be the best player for you. So, this 92 guy is the best guy on my list, but the guy at 749 could easily be a better fit for my team. And that's where it comes into evaluating the ratings, figuring out what works in the system that you're going to run, and that only comes with time. So pick out the guys that you want. If you do want to make an offer, if you had scholarship offers, that's right here. Now I have 0, so you could add an offer, you can revoke an offer. Now remember what we said, this top section, you can change that. The bottom section, once you spend it, you're locked in for the week. If you offer a scholarship and then go, oops, and then you take it off, the player knows immediately that you've given, you don't have to advance. He knows you gave him an offer and then pulled it. His interest level in you will crash, will probably disappear. Okay? We would fall out of this guy's top 10. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, for me right now, I don't have scholarships, so it doesn't matter. But basically, what's going to happen at this point, if we go to the key dates, we're July 17th, so we're right here. Okay. We're going to keep doing the same thing that we've been doing all 4 videos over and over and over and over and over again until we get to November 13th. Okay? And then we're going to get the letter of intent signings. That's when players are going to decide. Not all of them, maybe not even the majority of them, but you will get early signings. Okay? I would say it's over 50%, but that's just a guess. But you will get early signings at this point. We talked about late March, early April. The tip, go back to the first recruiting video. Late March, early April. Big tip. After this happens, okay, now you can see I still have $28,000. What did we start with? Honestly, I don't remember. It wasn't a lot, 34 maybe, 33 and some change. So, you know, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, we're only four sims into the recruiting season. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 more to go. So basically about, if you triple what we've already spent, that's about what we'll have left to come the end. Now, we have not hit a contact period yet. Okay? What is a contact period? Contact is when you can make a home visit. Okay? Now, this guy, Kelly, he's out of Virginia. $75 to go scout a game live, $125 to have him come visit your campus, $125 to go to his house. This guy's out of Maryland. $650, $550, $700, significantly more. Okay? This guy's out of Virginia. $75, $125, $125. I don't know if all the players in the state, it looks like it. So that must be a state cost. Let's look at West Virginia. That's only one state away. $650, $550, $700. So depends on how much farther away that you're recruiting. Could cost you significantly more money in some of these periods. So something else we may have learned here, maybe I can afford to, you know, buy an extra set of the reports for scouting. Maybe I could have gotten that southeast region to pick up Kentucky and Tennessee if I wanted them. You know, who knows? But keep adding. You know, make sure you're using all of your options down here. Try to use them each and every week. You know, so if you have 10, use all 10. Even if you're looking at players that are not on your call list, okay? Because when you're looking at the overall list, take off that, we'll look at everybody. So even if they're not on my call list, at least I can see ratings. That may be a way that you analyze that. It's up to you. There's no right or wrong way. But you notice the bulk of my guys are out of Virginia, which was because at the beginning we recruited by going to the state of Virginia, and that's kind of how we started. So get people on your list, try to get their interest levels up. I mean, even right here, you know, now I didn't recruit these guys, remember. I was kind of going farther down the list. So, you know, do I want to waste some film on them? Maybe, maybe not. You know, do you want to actually go through each and every player, make sure you're in their top 10? Maybe that's what you want to do. When you're calling, call the guys that you know that you think you're going to offer first, and watch film on them first to get their ratings, and then branch out from there. hey, these 10 guys, I thought I was going to recruit three, one of the three of these 10 guys. I really don't like any of them. Go to your next batch of 10 people and, watch the film, do the invites to them, do what you've got to do and try to, make sure that they, you're trying to boost the guys that you're interested in. Don't be afraid to walk away from a guy if you don't think you've got a shot. And again, take into account what you're finding out from your calls. Take into account your notes. Every week that you go, your assistant will have more notes up here, and eventually you'll have to use the slide bar to see them all. The good news is it does put the newer notes at the top. Okay. Now you may want to remember or refer something back. Also, don't forget the neat little trick we learned early on in the second video, the little personal note box that you can pull up here if you want to make a note about a particular player. Don't forget that. That would be a handy thing to have. Sometimes, maybe not. I wrote down a lot of stuff. I keep a notebook for all this, but hey, that's kind of neat to be able to jot that down. Hey, check on interest level for power forward Franklin, OVR 130. Oh, no, he was 140 the second time, remember that? And he was a 1 plus. Okay, so there's a note. Close it. Oh, wait, what was that? Let me go back. Oh, there it is. I don't want it anymore. Delete it. So it's, that's a neat little tool to have that you can pop up at any time from any screen. Remind yourself about something that you're looking at for a player. I can't think of anything else to tell you guys here on the recruiting front. Like I said, it's literally just going to be week after week after week of doing what we've been doing. Make sure you offer your scholarships. Again, it doesn't have to be right away. Take a couple of weeks to dial in. Remember, after 2 or 3 weeks, when you start here just starting your list off, it's after you start getting the evaluation. You've watched the game film. Now you've gone out and scouted them at their home court, playing a game for their high school. Maybe they've come to your campus. You've made 1 or 2 weeks of phone calls to that player. Now you've got more data that you can then make an informed decision. Is this the guy that I want to offer to? Is this a guy that I can actually get a commitment from? More importantly, because it may not be the guy you want, but if he's the only guy that's willing to come, then that might be the guy you have to take. So it's just rinse and repeat. But like I said, sometime around this mid-July part, or mid to late July, that would be the latest I would probably start popping scholarships. And a scholarship offer is also another way that you could maybe garner some interest in one of these guys. So like here's Franklin. Remember, he said he wasn't really into us. So hey, let's offer him a scholarship and see if that gets him, off the fence, one way or the other. If I offer him and then another week goes by and he's still kind of wishy-washy, pull the scholarship, cut him off your call list, and move on. Move on to somebody else. But you can see we actually have developed quite a few of these guys from 2 stars and 1 stars up into 3 stars. I mean, look how many we have. Let's go back and look at just our call list. You remember, we had a good number of 3 stars, but an equally good number of 2 stars. And now the bulk of our list is 3 stars, and that's mostly just from calling them on the call list. Nobody's fallen off, so I haven't had to weed anybody out. So that's recruiting in a nutshell, guys. Any questions in any of the videos, ask in the comments below. Try to ask the question in the one it pertains to, so that way people can follow along if they come and watch the video later. Also, don't forget to go over to Wolverine Studios, download the demo, give it a try if you have not. Use the forums over there for a resource. Ask questions, search the forum for different topics. But but certainly feel free to ask in the videos. I will do the best that I can. I've got nothing to do with the game outside of being a fan of Wolverine Studios and playing quite a few of their games over the years. First game they ever released was Total Pro Golf. So I've been on board with them since then. But as I mentioned, I have not played the last couple of college basketball games. Just didn't. But I'm actually enjoying this one. It's certainly different from the other one that I play, but I hope this tutorial has helped out. We've walked through the whole process. What I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and finish recruiting. I'm going to get up to the start of the season, and then we'll do one more video that kind of walks through a week of the season, setting your roster, setting your depth chart, things of that nature. And I think that'll bring us full circle, because then at that point, that's going to be a repeating episode for the rest of the regular season. And then you're going to be right back to where we started in basically video 2 with the reports and the summer camps. So I think that'll bring closure to the tutorial. Thank you so much for checking this out. I am sorry this one went a little long, but I wanted to finish recruiting in this one. So thanks for your time. Hope these helped. Take care.